Assalamualaikum. My name is Asma Ahmed and I am from Fine Arts Department 4th year, Thesis. And these are one of my process works for a given assignment inspired from the movie Persepolis. And here are some of the sketches that I worked on. This basically the entire concept behind my theme is basically the theme is fantasy, and the concept is about relationships, about loved ones, and how we can never take something for granted. And it was inspired from the movie Persepolis. I basically, this idea struck me when Margine was on the phone with her parents and she was telling them that please don't ask me any questions. And they basically respected her for that. They said, it's okay, it's all right. So from then point on, I was like, okay, this is something that really matters when you have someone you love and someone who basically comforts you and gives you so much strength when you are struggling in real life situations. So I took that idea and I wanted to basically somehow be able to create my own short illustrative novel focusing on the theme of love and relationships and how we must never take it for granted. These are some of the concepts and ideas, very rough concepts and ideas that I was trying to explore. I was trying to explore the color palettes. I was trying to explore where I wanted to go, which direction I wanted to go for, which stories were inspiring me. These I did work on these illustrations around vacations. I will show you that in a few seconds. For now, you can just see the color palettes, the concept, and see where this is all going. Some of these are sketches I did within those 2 weeks of assignments. Ma'am told us to draw sketches, look through some ideas and inspirations, and see where you can find yourself. Also, this is basically the cover. I will show that to you in a couple of seconds. And here is the sketchbook I worked on around my vacations, and a lot of ideas were taken from this. These are some of the hand gestures. I'll show it to you right now. Here it is. A lot of it has a very stylized cross-hatching technique, which I did apply in my final thesis, focusing on fantasy. If you want to see it clearly, I'll skim through these for now, but you can just look at them. I did want to apply a dragon in the storyline, but it extended very much. So I focused on just 2 characters who are basically orphans, and they lost their parents a couple of weeks ago, and they are now living with their uncle. And they are very much mourning. They need to basically keep each other strong, and that's just about the only thing that they have. Their uncle does not have a lot of connections with them. That was basically the entire story. I wanted to keep it simple. I wanted it to be more focused on the illustrations, and a lot of it's up to the readers to decide whether they want to interpret it on their own or they want to read the text. I did write the text, I did write the story, and it's all in the final thesis. This is also one of the strong concepts I worked on within those 2 weeks, those first 2 weeks. This is also very much in the final thesis. And also these concepts, as well as this. These are very rough ideas. I came up with a script after 1 week, and I can show you that, but it's over here. I think this is all there is. These were some ideas, very rough ideas that I tried to come up with. They're not legible right now. And apart from this, I have this entire script written down. Some of these were erased and edited in the storyline which I was working, and I will show that to you. You can pause. I won't be narrating any of those. It's basically up to you if you want to read the text. Script, some ideas, explorations. I can show you my layout of the entire thesis. This was the layout, this was the front cover. I did the inking and the line art and the drawings on my own. And this is basically the entire layout from what you can see. These were the pop-ups, and I was going to add these as well, and they're still in that. These are pop-ups. This is just the layout for me to get the idea of what I wanted to make. This is also another pop-up, and this was the composition. This was going to be a booklet, and you will see that in the moment. And this is going to be like a pull-up. You're supposed to pull this up. It opens up and there's a text inside. You will see that. And this is another sketch. I painted this, and this is basically one of the final pages. And this was going to be the final page, but ma'am decided that it's not needed. I just have to make the back cover clean and simple. After that, I can show you how I wanted to make it. I wanted to go for this idea. This was something I did in my third year. I wanted to make a book, bind it, and make it a very proper novel, illustrative novel. These were some ideas I wanted to explore. Some of the compositions in this were basically inspiring to me, and I used that. I incorporated that in my illustrative novel. And there are some of those which I did like to add. I wanted to add this as well, but I thought it was going to be too much. I did add these straps. I thought it made a very pretty composition. And I can now show you the final draft, the final thesis. This is the book cover. This is basically made of wood. And inside I wanted to put the novel after I bind it. Basically it opens like this. It's I think 12 to 13 inches long, and hopefully you can see. I can send pictures as well for references. And inside, when you open, basically I'm going to be putting a novel in there when it's binded. So this is the overall. And now this is the final thesis, which I will be putting in that box. This is the cover. I don't want to add any title because the main focus is the composition, the drawings, and it's up to the reader's interpretations to decide where to go with this. And as you can see properly, it's basically made from gouache, gadrang, and nibrang, and tea washes. The sides will be cut out when the binding happens. This side will be cut out, this side will not be cut out, this side will be cut out, and this is the binding area. When I flip it, basically this is the first page. If you want to pause, you can read. This is basically the introduction. And after I'm done with this, then we have this, the second page. When I open it, basically this is the panel section. And here basically you see this character, and he is witnessing something that is right in front of him, and it's hidden. But when you open it, basically these are his reactions. When you open it, you see that there's a monster in front. And if you want to read the text, you can. And now I can show you the pop-ups. These are the pop-ups. You can take them out and read them. These are just some small fun facts just to keep it entertaining. And this is also another pop-up. I'll put this aside and I'll flip it. And this is going to be the next page. On this page, I'm basically going to attach this booklet. This is a painting, and if you want to know what's happening in the story, you can read it when you open it like this. And you can pause if you want to read. Now that we're done with this page, I can show you the next page. This is going to be the fourth page, and in the middle, I'm going to add this. If you want to see what's inside, it's quite interesting. When I open it, it goes like this. These are some illustrations that is moving along with the story. And at the back of it, there's more text. And if you want to read it, you can read it from here all the way till here. It starts from here if you want to read it. Here you go. Then the next page is this section. On this section, I'm going to be putting another pop-up. It's going to be this one. It'll be like this. And when I open it, this is how it looks. It comes out as a text. You don't have to take it all out. You can just read it like this. And then this is basically the first, and then this is the second paragraph. You can pause if you'd like to read the text. Now that we're done with this page, this was the fifth page, and after this page, we have the sixth page. This is basically them witnessing a new villain. This is the main villain of the entire story. And if you're reading this story from the text, you can already know what's happening in the scenario, but obviously the main concept you already understand. So after this painting, we have the next painting, witnessing the death of a character. And this is how it opens up. This is like a small window I made, and I wanted to keep it very simple, and I didn't want to overcomplicate it because we have the next painting on the next page, and this is what there is. If you want to see it closely, this is the death of a character, and it's very sad, it's very grim. That's why I used inking in it. It's supposed to highlight the grim nature of death itself and having to witness it once again. And if you read the paragraphs, you'll already know what's happening. The guardian was trying to protect his new friends, and in the wake of that, he basically got injured and he was almost dying. So that's basically this is how it goes. And then we have the final page, which is basically a goodbye to the character who had died. But there's a spoiler ahead. The character basically survives, and here I was going to make basically compose a text that he or is he dead? So basically a question mark. This is another pop-up. If you want to see it clearly, you can. Go. And then we have the back cover. And that's about it. Thank you.